What? Say what again? Does
I got something for you.
he
This watch.
look like a...
Thanks for watching my analysis of director Quentin Tarantino's 1994 American crime film Pulp Fiction, written by Tarantino and Roger Avary and produced by Lawrence Bender. Before I get started, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to the Godfather of Cinema, movie reviews and more. Give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment and hit the bell so that you won't miss any new videos that I'll upload in the future. In this analysis of Pulp Fiction, I will focus on chapter 5 of that film called The Gold Watch. And if you give me 10 minutes or so of your time, I'll reveal the secret meanings of the gold watch and Marcellus Wallace's briefcase, as well as the pawn shop and Butch's apartment. Additionally, I will also explain why Butch saved Marcellus's life and how the gold watch and the pawn shop scene are related. So let's get started. Marcellus puts a bounty on Butch's life for winning a boxing match that he paid him to lose.
I will take care of it.
Butch had tipped off a bookie before the match that the match was rigged and made a lot of money. Consequently, he and his French girlfriend, Fabienne, have to be on the morning train to Knoxville to pick up his money because LA is not safe anymore, and the sooner that they leave town the better. But in their rush to leave his apartment, Marcellus's first target, Fabienne also leaves Butch's gold watch behind. Which changes everything because he now has to go back to the apartment to get the watch and take a chance on getting killed, as he also takes a chance on getting killed by going back to save Marcellus at the pawn shop, being that the gold watch at the apartment is synonymous with both Marcellus Wallace and the briefcase, in the respect that they both contain something of value, and the fact that both the watch and the content or contents of Marcellus's briefcase are gold. Also, the fact that Butch and Marcellus end up in a pawn shop of all places is not a coincidence, being that a pawn shop is a business that offers loans secured by personal property.
Can I help you with something?
That borrowers by paying back the loan within a certain amount of time. Now, let's take a look at the gold watch and the pawn shop, starting with the apartment in which Fabienne leaves Butch's gold watch. Now, let's imagine that this apartment is a pawn shop that Butch left his father's gold watch with as collateral on a loan.
Can I help you with something?
Next, let's go to the scene at the pawn shop in which Butch saves Marcellus from Maynard and Zed. As we did in replacing the apartment with the pawn shop, let's now replace the pawn shop with the apartment, and the gold watch, let's replace it with Marcellus, so that now, instead of going to the back room of the pawn shop to save Marcellus from Maynard and Zed, Butch is going back to the apartment to reclaim something that is equal in value to his father's gold watch. The reason why Butch goes back to the apartment for the gold watch and back to the back room of the pawn shop to save Marcellus from Zed and Maynard is spelled out in the opening scene of chapter 3. Vincent Vega and Marcellus Wallace's wife. Marcellus and Butch are at an isolated table in Marcellus's club discussing Butch's upcoming boxing match, in which Marcellus pays Butch to throw the fight. Now, let's imagine that this transaction is taking place at a pawn shop and that Butch is taking out a loan.
Can I help you with something?
What then is he putting down for collateral in this scene? The answer to this question, as well as to why Butch double-crosses Marcellus by winning the boxing match, why he goes back to the apartment to get his gold watch, and why he goes back to save Marcellus from Maynard and Zed at the pawn shop, is summed up in one word: Pride. Remember, Marsellus tells Butch not to let pride get in the way of him throwing the fight against Floyd, which means that Butch is accepting money from Marsellus to throw his fight with Floyd in exchange for his pride, something that is more valuable to Butch than possibly getting killed by going back to the apartment to get his gold watch and going to the back room of the pawn shop to save Marsellus from Maynard and Zed. Butch's pride is the collateral on the money he accepts from Marsellus to throw the fight. For remember that at the beginning of the film, Marsellus sends Vincent and Jules to get his briefcase from the 4 young men at the apartment. Also, even though we never see what's in the briefcase, we know that the briefcase contains something that is valuable. Now, remember that the glow inside of Marcellus's briefcase and Butch's watch are both gold. And as the gold watch is more valuable to Butch than his own life, Marsellus discovers something in the back room of the pawn shop with Maynard and Zed that is more valuable to him than the money he lost by Butch winning the boxing match. As Captain Koons hid the gold watch in the most unlikely place, Marsellus ends up reclaiming his humanity and soul and gratitude for life itself in the most unlikely place.
Oui.
Here's a few things that you may or may not know about Pulp Fiction. Did you know that Tarantino's original choice to play Marcellus Wallace was Max Julien, who played Goldie?
I mean, you know the rules of the game.
In director Michael Campas's 1973 blaxploitation film, The Mac. According to actor Samuel L. Jackson, Julien turned down the role because he didn't like the scene that involved Marcellus being by rednecks, and he didn't want his fans to see him in such a compromising position, to say the least. Ving Rhames, however, coveted the role because he was tired of being offered tough guy roles due to his tough guy appearance and wanted to play a vulnerable character that would open him up to more diverse roles, which it has since done. Did you know that the then 30-year-old Tarantino hand-wrote Pulp Fiction in a dozen school notebooks because he couldn't type? According to screenwriter Robert Towns, typist Linda Chen, who typed Pulp Fiction, Tarantino's script averaged 9,000 grammatical errors per page. She even described him as a functional illiterate who had her to put back errors that she fixed because he thought they sounded good. Did you know that Tarantino wrote Pulp Fiction in a one-room apartment in Amsterdam and used details of his stay for Vincent Vega's trip to Amsterdam in the movie? Did you know that every major Hollywood studio rejected Pulp Fiction until Danny DeVito gave it to Miramax studio boss Harvey Weinstein, who read the 159-page script on a plane headed to Martha's Vineyard? Weinstein was so impressed by the script that he bought it before he finished reading it. Anyway, thanks for watching my second review of director Quentin Tarantino's 1994 American crime film Pulp Fiction. And be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the Godfather of Cinema, and hit the bell for more film-related videos like this one. I will see you soon.